The film begins with a big protest in the main city to remove a corrupt president. At that time, there's a man named Fred who works as a guard for the president. He really wants a lot of money. He decides to help the president hide the fact that he stole a huge amount of money, 271 trillion. At President's house, Fred helps him escape from there, and the president gives him money for being loyal, but they get caught by the police. Fred and his friends try to help the president avoid getting arrested, but the police shoot him. So Fred and his friends fight the police. After the fight, Fred tries to run away. He goes to his brother Alex's house. Alex is good at making bombs. Fred asks Alex to help him blow up the president's safe and take all the money so they can escape to France. At first, Alex doesn't want to because it's too risky, but he ends up agreeing. Soon after, Alex and Fred made a plan. Alex would blow up the safe while Fred kept watch outside. When they got to the president's palace, they got to work. But during the robbery, soldiers showed up and arrested Alex. It turns out Fred had set him up. He wanted to keep all the money for himself. After that, the police put Alex in a fancy prison. He had to fight to stay safe from other prisoners. Since Alex wasn't used to fighting, he became really tough. He even fought the warden and guards to show how strong he was. Meanwhile, Fred and Alex's family moved to a village near a mine to hide from the government. In the village, Fred and Alex's wife worked with the locals to make the village better. The mine had made the land barren, and people were struggling to survive. One day, Alex's wife was upset with him. She brought up how he got her husband, Alex, into trouble, even though it was Fred's idea to rob the safe. Deep down, Fred felt guilty about what happened to Alex's family. He wanted to make it right by protecting them. While they were arguing, there was an explosion at the mine. The owners of the mine had a meeting to fix the problem. If they didn't fix it fast, the fire could spread to other mines underground. But the explosion was actually caused by the company that had stolen money from building safety. They did it on purpose so the government would give them money for repairs, and then they could steal it again. To solve the problem, the company sent people to a village near the mine. They asked Fred to help get Alex out of prison so he could help them, but it was risky. Fred had to get liquid nitrogen from a solar power plant and take it to the mine to stop a bigger leak. He had only 24 hours before the mine exploded again. If he succeeded, he'd get lots of money, a free flight to France, and a place to live. Fred agreed because the reward was big. At that time, Fred didn't go alone. He went with 2 company people and locals who knew the way. But on the way, they were attacked. Luckily, they managed to escape. Long story short, Fred and his friends finally made it to the meeting spot. Alex had already arrived and was really angry when he saw Fred. He hated Fred for tricking him and making his life hard. While they argued, a guy named Gauthier tried to stop them. He convinced Alex to focus on their mission so he could see his family again. Thanks to Gauthier, Alex calmed down. Soon after, Alex got to work using his bomb skills to check the liquid nitrogen. He warned them it was super dangerous. Even a tiny bit could cause a huge explosion. So they had to be really careful, especially since they had 200 kilograms of it. After learning how dangerous it was, Gauthier split the team into 2. One group would get the paperwork they needed, and the other would prepare a safe truck. Soon after, Fred and his friends headed to the solar power plant with a government permit, but they were stopped by special forces at the gate. The permit wasn't officially approved because they applied for it too suddenly. They needed to wait 24 hours to get in, but they only had 20 hours left to transport the liquid nitrogen. At that time, Clara, one of Gauthier's colleagues, tried to negotiate with the commander to let them in. Finally, the commander agreed to let them enter. When they got there, Fred and Alex loaded the liquid nitrogen into the truck while the others kept watch and planned the safest route to the mine. Fred and Alex had to work together carefully to avoid a dangerous explosion. If the liquid spilled, they could all die. After they finished moving the nitrogen, a security guard attacked one of Fred's team members. Meanwhile, Gauthier, Fred, and the rest of the group had already left the solar power plant area. They had to keep moving because they only had 10 hours left. As they traveled, Clara got mad at Gauthier for what she thought was his fault in letting their team members die. She decided to ride with Fred instead. But then they were surprised by robbers who demanded a lot of money to let them pass. At that time, Gauthier tried to talk to the leader of the robbers. He said they were from the desert and were bringing help to the poor, but the robbers didn't believe him. Gauthier's tone was different from theirs. When that didn't work, one of Fred's friends showed the company logo, but the robbers didn't care. They just wanted money to let them go. Now they are stuck in a tough situation. They wanted to stay alive, but time was running out. After thinking about it, Gauthier decided to shoot one of the robbers, and a fight broke out. Unfortunately, some of their team members got hurt, but they managed to stop the robbers for a while. However, the robbers got back on their feet and started chasing them again. Because of the constant threat from the robbers, Gauthier decided to lead the way, but this upset Clara. She didn't like Gauthier's risky decisions, even though the route they were taking was supposed to be the safest and not too far. But at that time, Gauthier didn't seem to care. He just wanted to reach the mine quickly and get paid. Unfortunately, the route Gauthier chose was rough, and after they had walked for about a kilometer, there was an explosion. Fred thought it was an attack from the robbers and got ready to defend himself. Meanwhile, Alex approached Gauthier and informed him that the route was full of mines. Gauthier got upset and blamed everyone for not telling him. To save time, Alex got a chain to detect mines. With Fred's help, they started checking for mines. Alex, being a bomb expert, was able to deactivate the mines easily. But then Fred accidentally stepped on one. Alex could have left him there, given Fred's past behavior of sacrificing Alex to get money from the president's vault. But despite everything, Alex decided to help Fred and keep him away from the mine. He did everything he could to save Fred. Seeing Alex's sincerity, Fred apologized for all the mistakes he had made. In the end, Alex decided to drag Fred's body away from the mine and risk getting caught in the explosion. But it turned out the mine Fred stepped on was already damaged, so it didn't explode. As their bond grew stronger, they faced another challenge. Suddenly, a sniper started shooting at them from a distance. They realized that this route was also full of robbers with skilled snipers, so they had to defend themselves. After a short fight, Fred and his friends managed to defeat the sniper. Then they checked the liquid nitrogen in the truck to make sure it was still safe. Luckily, nothing leaked. Next, they split into two groups and took different routes. At that moment, Fred and Gauthier decided to take the eastern route, while Alex and Clara took the western route. With only 6 hours left, Fred and Gauthier hurried to the oil and gas mine before another explosion happened. This time, they had to go through a tough road with cliffs and rocky paths. Finally, they reached the area with a pool of black oil. Fred checked the puddle to make sure the path was clear. Once they were sure it was safe, they continued their journey. But suddenly, Gauthier pointed his gun at Fred. It turned out he wanted to take all the money from the mining company and was willing to shoot Fred to do it. Meanwhile, Alex and Clara faced similar challenges on their route. They encountered blocked paths and had to stop to clear the way. Alex prepared the liquid nitrogen to blow up a big rock. When everything was ready, he started his action. As the situation at the oil and gas mine worsened, with pipes starting to leak, the nearby village faced destruction. With only 2 hours left, Alex reached the black oil puddle that Gauthier had passed earlier. He asked Clara to drive the truck while he directed. Knowing the dangers, Alex told Clara to give the truck's engine a rest after going through the oil puddle to prevent damage. From a distance, they saw Gauthier's truck crossing a cliff path. He seemed happy, thinking about the money he would get. But he didn't rest his engine, and it got damaged. His truck slipped and fell off the cliff with him in it. At that moment, Alex and Clara were shocked by what they saw. Nearby, a shepherd called out to them, saying someone was hurt. They found Fred injured. Soon after, Alex helped Fred into the truck, and they continued their journey. Meanwhile, the company owner was in a meeting with his partners. They realized the mine couldn't be saved. So, they decided to crash the truck carrying liquid nitrogen into the mine. This would give them new funds to build new mines, with even more money. With just an hour left, Alex and Clara hurried to the mine to stop the explosion. But the robbers blocked their path again. They had to split up to handle the situation. Alex would drive the car and protect Fred, while Clara would fight off the robbers. Soon after, they quickly took their positions and acted. Clara threw liquid nitrogen from the back of the truck to stop the robbers. Thanks to their teamwork, they escaped and reached the mine safely. However, the mine owner had taken Alex's family hostage. They threatened to harm them unless Alex crashed the truck into the mine. Hearing this, Fred woke up and shot the mine owner. He decided to sacrifice himself by crashing his truck into the mine to save Alex's family. In that moment, Fred not only wanted to make up with Alex, but he also wanted to stop the leak at the mine. This would save the village from harm. Because of Fred's sacrifice, the mine was safe from a big explosion, and everyone in the village, including Alex and his family, was safe. The film ends. The moral lesson from this film is when life hands you exploding safes, corrupt presidents, and liquid nitrogen, just remember never skip leg day at the gym. You might end up kicking mines and dodging bullets like a pro, all while saving the day and your friendship.